All right, we're at the home of Daryl and Leticia, looking at doing some siding. They have, looks like an old cement board right now, basically. We have a 5-inch fascia. We have an exposed drip edge. Actually, no, excuse me, there is a metal drip on there. Okay, so there is a metal drip on the roof. You can see right there. Exposed fascia, and then we have, in most cases, about 1.5 foot soffit. Some places we have about 1.75 foot to 2 foot soffit. So we're going to look at a fascia overlay as an option. Would strongly recommend a fascia overlay. Soffits are in pretty decent shape. The vents are in good shape. I think we could be definitely okay with just doing some caulking and sealing and painting on the soffit. I think would give a very good result, and certainly something that's going to last. So that's my recommendation. Fascia overlay, though, without a doubt. We do have about a total of 20, 40, it's about 58, no, excuse me, about 50 feet of gutter that would need to come down. As you can see, one of the runs right here would need to come down for us to do a fascia overlay, and then we could either put that gutter back or leave it off as an option. Would recommend leaving it off, honestly. So we have this side here, basically, with our gable here. We'll retrim the gable vent that you can see up there. We'll retrim that in 1x4. All the windows would be retrimmed. Right now there's just lumber trim on that. So leaving that, and as we'll look at on the addition back here, leaving that lumber trim with the Hardie is not going to be a good result, and probably be a point of some frustration down the road when you have to replace the trim in this otherwise brand new Hardie plank. So that would be a recommendation, again, is to retrim all existing windows that are now trimmed in wood, retrim them in Hardie plank. Same thing here. You can see that that is just a wood trim, not going to be a good result with that Hardie plank that's going to last a very long time. All this siding does need to come off. We'll need to resheathe the wall with a 7/16 inch OSB, Tyvek it, do all our seam tape, all of our flashing around any penetration in the sidewall siding, and then come back with our trim and our siding. We already have on the addition a Hardie board. It's an 8 1/4 Cedar Mill Select, so I'm assuming we'll keep with that to match and have some consistency. Here you can see the Hardie was done, so we have Hardie plank all down here, all along this skirting and above, up top, but all the windows are trimmed in wood. So again, that Hardie's going to look brand new, 10, 12 years down the road, and that wood trim will need to be replaced in that amount of time. So again, more soffit fascia runs back up there and kind of dies into the roof line. We have a couple doors here. So you have two in-swings, it looks like 6.0s, with the existing Hardie and wood trim. So again, recommendation would be to get rid of all that wood trim and do the Hardie trim correctly, and not cause yourself some further headaches down the road. Ultimately, that's the idea with this Hardie plank, is you can do it and not have to struggle with it anymore. Same thing on this little side. We are going to look at painting. It's not much. It's about 3/4 of a square sidewall Hardie that would need to be painted just to protect that appropriately. So we'll look at that as a component of this proposal. We got a small little wall right here. It's about 4 foot by 8 1/4. So that all, again, cement shingles come off. We then would go back with the Tyvek. And there is actually, I can see it right now down in this bottom where it's cracked, there is a board behind there. So I think what we're going to be okay with is just tearing this stuff off and then starting with our Tyvek, because you can see a plywood sheathing behind that cement shingle right here. So that's a good sign, basically, to let us know that we have a good substrate behind there that we can utilize. Again, this is the right side here. We got another gable, cement siding all the way down. We have a couple vents here. So we have this vent. We have your attic vent, your gable vent, and then we have another vent here. Those would all be retrimmed in Hardie 1x4, again, just like a window, to make it really look nice and clean it up a ton. All your electrical, phone, all this conduit would be pulled away from the wall. We'd re-side behind that and then reattach. What you're going to find a lot of times is contractors just running siding up to that and then just putting on globs of caulking, and it just looks absolutely atrocious. So we would pull all this, side behind it, and then reattach everything so it looks nice and neat. But again, pretty straightforward. I thought we had another crack down here where you might be able to see some of the OSB. So again, down here, it's hard to see. You can see it here, but you know, there's definitely a 7/16 inch OSB board behind this cement shingle. Coming around to the front, we do have the garage door here. You can see there is some rotting on this garage door frame. So recommendation would be to wrap all of this in a Hardie plank, so we can encase all this, make it look beautiful, and get rid of all this rot and all this cracking that you can see presently here. Same thing here. Now above the garage door, we do have, you can see a little apron up there, so that would all become Hardie plank. All of this underneath the porch, we would retrim the doors. We have a storm door to remove and replace. It's an Anderson too, it looks like. This front window here, that trim has to come off. We'd retrim in a Hardie 1x4. Now this beam here, I saw the 2 columns sitting over there. This beam here, regardless of whether you put any columns on or not, this beam will be wrapped on the underside. See if I can do this without dropping things. So here, whoa, all of this beam here, this entire beam would be wrapped on the underside, on the facing side, and on the back side. Woo! Almost lost the iPad. On the back side too would have Hardie plank on it, would be completely encased and sealed, so you're not going to have any further rot of that guy. On here, where we have the siding, as well as on the sides where we have the sidewall, run down into kind of like a foundation. Ooh, there we go. Run down into kind of a foundation line like this. We're going to flash all that with a C-channel flashing to prevent any kind of water exposure behind the Hardie plank. Both sides, on the back, anywhere where siding's coming down to ground level. Again, more fascia. You can see some corner repairs that have been done. That's, again, why the recommendation would not be to go with gutters. On the front here, it makes a little more sense because you have a walkway, but you know, I think this, you know, obviously is a result of guttering, this repair that had to be done on this corner. So our impression would be to not put the gutters back up, but if you want gutters, we can do that. And again, all these gutters here would have to be removed and then could either be reinstalled or replaced. But again, fascia overlay would definitely be a recommendation here, just to prevent, you know, what we see in the fascia, the repairs that have already been done, to kind of end that once and for all. We have a pair of shutters here that we're going to look at as an option. Martha was saying that we would probably look at these. You can see they're falling apart. So we'd look at those as an option, replacing the shutters for you. Security mount or security light we can remount, and then we have this little small gable on the forward facing part of the home. But again, soffit looks to be in pretty good condition. I think safely you do some prep work on the soffit, paint and seal it, and you're going to get all the longevity you need out of that. But again, fascia, definitely recommend, based on the repairs that we see on pretty much every corner. Recommendation would be to do the Hardie fascia and a Hardie drip edge to make sure that that problem's fixed once and for all. So that's what we got. We appreciate you guys considering us, and we look forward to helping you out on your project. Thank you.